Hello and welcome to another Tonks episode. I'm your host Teddy, and today I'm being joined once again by
Hayden.
And today we're going to be talking about the TMNT 2012 Season 2 Episode 25, Invasion Part 1. Oh boy. What do you think about this episode briefly? Or if you can describe it briefly.
To be honest, I'm speechless. I'm trying to understand what has happened in this first part of this episode. It was just action-packed, full on from the get-go. You hit the ground running with this one, and to be honest, I really did like it. The action was there. It was just so much in one go, and I'm still trying to process what I saw in this episode. The amount of crazy stuff that has happened, just unbelievable.
Yeah, this episode has always been a really big, crazy one, which I've always loved for that reason. With all the action, everything like that, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it's all perfect in a way, and I think that with the action, it builds on to the big intensity of the impending doom, and just everything about it is just amazing, great, and I want to say near perfect. So, yeah, okay, so with this, I don't really know how to really begin with this episode, just because there's a few parts we can go down, but do you want to talk about the Rafa Casey stuff or the Lair stuff first?
Oh, I think we should talk about the Raff and Casey stuff first.
Okay then, so let's talk about the first bit before the invasion starts, where there's the Casey's drawn a picture of April on the wall, and then the Krang come in, and Casey realises that it's not the police, it's the Krang. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, I thought that was pretty cool. They were searching for Karai at the time, and of course we did see Karai again in her snake form, which I thought, oh my god, Karai, we're gonna finally understand what's going on with her. And of course, nope, the invasion of Krang just takes over everything, and I'm like, damn it, we're not gonna see what happens to Karai. But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty cool, with the Krang coming in, and arresting Casey Jones, even though I didn't think it was the Krang at first, because to be honest, I thought it was just the police arresting Casey for like, spray painting the building, you know, like damaging property and vice versa. But then of course when he hit the copper across the face with his hockey puck, and then of course it turned into a Krang, that's when I thought, oh damn, the invasion's already begun. And then 5 seconds later, everything just goes awry. Like, there's portals coming out of every corner, and it's just absolute crazy. Like, the whole army of Krang just marches through into New York, and just it's absolute chaos.
Yeah, I mean, with this bit here, oh god, it's an annoying bit, because I feel like this is like something which we were talking about in the episode Plan 10, where we was talking about stuff which they could have done with the invasion and stuff like that. And what I think about this bit here was okay with the Casey drawing on the wall. I mean, he was clear line, very obvious. I mean, why would you draw a picture of April and be like, yeah, I'm not into it? Like, that seemed a bit cringe, but in like a tamed way. And with the bit with the Krang infiltrating his corpse, I've always really enjoyed that, and I thought that was very creative and really fun idea for them to do. But I think that, like, what I've always said before in episode Plan 10, and what I'm like saying again now, is that I think that this is a really great idea. I just wish that they had done more with this idea and played it throughout the whole season, and done more of like a who do you trust kind of thing, because I think that just comes out of nowhere that these cops are Krang and stuff like that, when if they had built it up a bit more, I feel like this bit would have been a bit more like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this and stuff like that. But now that they've done like this, it just seems a bit out of nowhere, but it works well enough because you don't expect it. But at the same time, I feel like they could have done a whole lot more of this whole concept and idea. But yeah, so then we do get to see Raph and Casey running throughout the city, seeing all the different Krangs, with the invisible spaceship, the big walker thing, they're blowing everything up. What do you think about those scenes?
To be honest, I I didn't know what to say. Like, so much was happening at one time. It was hard trying to like see what was going on with everything all the time, because you had Krang armies marching through the streets. You had walkers or Krang walkers. That they had the Krang flagships as well. I'm like, what is going on? And New York is just in flames, and I'm trying to process what's going on, and it's just absolute craziness. Like, people are screaming, people are running in the streets. It's pandemonium everywhere, and it's just such a different sight seeing New York up in flames. Like, this is the first actual time that I've got to see like a proper invasion of New York City and the destruction of the Krang in full scale. So this was pretty cool and interesting for me.
Yeah, I mean, with this bit here, I liked how, because I think like when comparing this invasion to the first one, this really goes to show just how advanced the Krang are and how big of a threat they can be. And I think that's just so amazing, and just seeing all the different like types of Krang come in, it was just so great and amazing. And just seeing how big a threat they truly are, it's just a really great thing to finally see. I mean, there were a few things in here which I wouldn't say complain, but just a bit questioning, I want to say. So one, with the streets, it did feel a bit empty with like not really many people running around. It did feel like it wasn't really much of a big threat because there was like hardly anyone around like running for the ladders or anything like that. I did find that to be like really weird and just like low all these stakes. It's just like, the bear, but so that seemed like a little bit weird to me. And then even with the Walker, well, I mean, while I do like the Walker, I think it is a really great weapon and is really interesting. The biggest problem which I do have with it is the fact that in the episode which it was introduced in the episode Neutralized, it does seem like it's not really much of a big threat just because Case was able to take that out with a puck. And yet they're running for the last in this episode. It does seem a little bit out of, like, it does seem a bit inconsistent. I don't know, what did you think about that? Or is this something we should just think about now?
To be honest, now that you say it, yeah, I remember Casey Jones taking the Walkers out with just a single hockey puck, and now he's struggling to try and escape from it. Like, you know the weakness of a Walker, why don't you use it and take it down, you know? Yeah. Is that not common sense?
That would be common sense, but this is Turtles.
Yep.
Then in the last little bit of the Raph and Casey segments, we do get to see Krang Prime. She comes in and she mutates a lot of people in a few seconds. What do you think about that scene there?
Jesus. I was not expecting that, that's for sure. I was not expecting Crown Prime to appear out the portal and then start spraying everyone with mutagen and turn them into Krang. Like, that is just stuff of nightmares. Like, honestly, that people didn't know what hit them. Like, honestly, they're covered in this goo and then they just turn into these hideous Krang. And literally, the expression of Casey Jones' face is what I had on mine when I looked and saw Krang Prime just spraying everyone down with mutagen. That was my exact reaction, like, oh my gosh, that's actually what it was for. This is what it was meant for, and it's horrifying. Like, it's terrifying. Like, all these people are gonna get turned into Krang, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's just so terrifying and creepy at the same time. Like, all these Krangs are like zombies, zombie Krang, and it's just like, it's mental.
Yeah, I mean, with this bit here, I've always enjoyed it for being like the big oh my god like moment, as if I don't know, it's hard to describe, but because it comes right at the end for this first part, but like because we've seen it as like both parts together, it does seem a little bit weird watching it together as like individual episodes. So like seeing it here is just like the big oh my god man, I can't believe it's this. It makes sense because yeah. But I mean, I've always enjoyed the scene because the big threats and stuff like that, with turning into all the humans into like Krang type zombie things within a matter of seconds. I've also thought that was a really great thing, just because it goes to show how powerful they are and just so great. But with that being said, why don't the Krang normally have guns that to shoot out Misgen? I do find it a little bit weird now that, like, if Krang Prime could have that, then why can't normal Krang have that? And with that being said, with Krang Prime, how is she able to stand up with her body? She only has, like, very thin little legs, and is supporting that big thing. And I just... Did you question that? Or are you questioning it now?
Now I'm questioning it because you brought it up. Yeah. To be honest, I was more concerned about the fact that she was using a mutagen gun to turn people into Krang, but no, literally. To be honest, I don't know how. Maybe it's Krang physics, like we saw in Dimension X, perhaps, or I'm just throwing out some ideas that can like generalize around, but to be honest, I really don't know. Like her body under like those tiny little legs. Yeah. I don't see how.
So yeah, that's it for that part. So moving over to the other parts, let's first talk about the April and Irma being chased by a football scene. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, it was kind of weird how it played out because it was kind of like foreshadowing a bit because Irma said, "Oh, I've always wanted to meet your like mysterious friends, like you always talk about them," and April was saying, "Yeah, you'll meet them one day," and then of course right there and then stuff happens, and of course the ninjas and the footbots track them down and try capturing them and all that, and of course that leads Irma and April into the sewers, and which will then lead on to Irma seeing the turtles. But no, I thought that was just a good little scene there. Of course, April's trying to ring Donnie, and I just love how the phones, the turtle phones, have like different pictures on them. Like Donnie is like he's got all love round him, heart emojis on April's phone. I still love that, to be honest. It's just like the petty little things. But no, I thought that was pretty fun and cool. But the one thing that I want to get into is what we're going to talk about next with Irma, because that is just utter mental. But I'm going to let you talk because I will probably go on and on and on. And yeah.
Yeah, with this bit here, I always thought it was like one of these okay scenes that just like there to just set things up for the rest of the episode, which is pretty cool. And like you said, there was a little foreshadowing sort of stuff which, even now with this episode, I only realised today there was some stuff which I missed like years ago. I mean, like with Irma saying to April, "Oh, you're dead." I didn't pick up on that, and today I picked on it and just like, oh my god, she said that to April while she was right there for showing stuff like that, and there's all stuff in here which I really do like because of foreshadowing stuff. But I just gotta wonder if, I mean, if April didn't bring Irma down into the sewers, then would the invasion be held up for quite a lot longer? Because, you know, April could have just taken down sewers and brought up to like another manhole. That's the only thing I've got to say about that. It's just that the whole plan could have been delayed a lot longer if April didn't bring her to the sewers. But in saying that, yeah, let's just talk about the Irma reveal scene. What do you think about that scene there?
What the hell for starts? Like, what actually happened? Like, I was not expecting Irma to have a freak-out session and start, like, turning into, like, this killer Terminator robot sort of thing. Like, when her head turned red and her neck popped out, I was thinking, whoa, what's going on here? But then she turned into this full-on Krang, and it was messed up. Like, this is supposed to be for a children's program, man, and this stuff happens. Like, her head pops out, her arms extend, she looks like a spider, and the weapons coming out every orifices, and I'm like, what? Timeout? This is just absurd. Like, you can't just drop something like that on me. But no, seeing Irma turn into a Krang was probably the most disturbing thing I've seen in a long time on the Turtles. Like, it was just so weird, like, the body parts coming off and like hands coming into like these razor blades and all these other weapons. It was just so creepy, and if I was a child watching this, I think I'd be pretty freaked out by that. And don't get me started on Irma's head. Like when I don't know who got the head off the Krang, but Irma's head, that was just messed up. When Mikey was on the table and the head came alive, that spooked me. It's like, shit, it's actually alive, you know? But yeah, it was just really creepy, and the head tried attacking and biting, and had the three legs like a spider. That really was really weird and creepy. And it kind of reminded me of like the old, like, the toy from Toy Story 2 or 1 with the head on its spider legs, the metal spider legs from Sid's Garden. That was creepy, okay? Now that was creepy. It gave me like proper spider leg vibes from Toy Story, and that was just really crazily messed up. I'm like, damn, I'm surprised they could even get away with showing that sort of stuff. But hey ho, it's Turtles at the end of the day. But no, I thought that was really cool, really like mind blowing. Thinking, wow, after all this time we've been played by the Krang. Like all this time, the Krang have always been one step ahead of us. They've always been in control from the get go. They've already planned this, and now they've finally executed their plan, and now it's all in action.
Yeah. I mean, like, was you expecting it to be the Krang, or was you just expecting it to be like some weird monster kind of thing?
Be honest, I didn't know what I was expecting. After everything that's happened, I don't know what's what anymore. Like, I don't know who's who, what's what, who to trust. Like, at this point, it's just craziness. Like, you don't know who to trust, and that's the problem. I'm always at the edge of my seat trying to figure out who's who, who's Krang, who's not Krang, who's a spy, who's not a spy, double crosses and whatnot. That's where I'm at this stage. Like, I don't trust anything that I see.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, but also I dislike it as well. I mean, I love it for all the reasons you said. It's just an amazing reveal. You don't expect it. It's just come out of nowhere. And it's a great reveal how they do it, with it being creepy, with all the body parts extending in some really messed up ways, and it's just so unexpected and just so amazing. But I also do think that's also the the downside to it as well. It's just because we didn't really get to see or really spend much time with Irma throughout the season for it to really be a big, like, oh my god, I can't believe it's Irma kind of moment. I feel like had she been in the show a bit more and had like say a bit more, like a few more hints towards it, then I think that this would be a bit more of like, oh my god, I can't believe it moment. But I do think it does somewhat come out of a bit of nowhere, but at the same time, it does work really well because of that. So I don't know, I'm a bit on the fence because on one hand, I do like it for all those amazing reasons, but at the same time, I dislike it as well because of the other reasons as well. So yeah, but either way, it was an amazing reveal. Okay, let's talk about the lair fight scene. Yeah, please take it away.
Where do I start? For one, we've just talked about it, Irma. And secondly, the fight scene with the Krang and all that, I was not expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting all the Krang just to attack at once in the lair, and a fight scene to ensue on afterwards. That was just utter crazy. Like, finally, after all this time, their secret lair in the sewers that no one's been able to find for decades has now been compromised, and it's crumbling before my very eyes. And it was certainly a sight to see, because you just, after all this time, after 2 seasons of watching the Turtles train and live in the lair, after everything they've been through, their home's destroyed in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, God, I don't know where to really begin, just because like there's so much to really talk about with this bit here, with everything from Mikey's amazing fight scene with the Hill of Ice Cream Kitty destroying the Irma bot thing, everything.
Oh yeah, Ice Cream Kitty! That's... damn it, I can't believe I almost forgot about Ice Cream Kitty. I'm sorry to butt in, but Ice Cream Kitty's the best.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, everything about it, I feel like it was just like enough of what you wanted to see that just put you on the edge of your seat to be like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is happening. And I think they like worked really well into the advantage of just making it feel like a bigger threat than what it most likely is. And I feel like the fight between Splinter and Krang Subprime was amazing. And just everything about it, I just don't know where to really begin, because it was short and simple, but I just wish there was like so much more, because it was just such a great fight scene, and it's so annoying that they didn't really give us too much, but I think it's also what helps it be like so like great. Oh god, I feel like you like said everything you want to say about it. I have, and I feel like we can't really explain too much more other than just like keep going over what we have said already. So then after that, we do get to see Leo and Donnie fighting in the sewers about what way to go before Leo takes the Krang in one direction. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, I that scene was pretty pointless. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was the worst possible time that they could argue. Like, you're in a wartime situation. You need to be working together, not against each other. Besides, we've been through this before. Who's the leader and who's not the leader? And this is certainly not the time to bring it up again. Like, you've got Krangbots on one side, you've got the Shredder on the other. Like, there is no time to argue, okay? We can't be doing this right now. So, literally, it's just, I'd see it as pointless at this point. Like, why? Why are you arguing? Arguing? Sorry, Jesus, I don't know what that was. Arguing. Like, there's no point to it. I don't see a point to argue. Like, just go and do your thing. Like, there's no arguing. Just, you could talk about it later, just not at this moment in time when your life is at stake.
Yeah, it just seemed like really weird. But like, it does play a little bit of importance for what does come in the next episode. So it's not really overly pointless, but it is pointless enough. And I feel like it was just one of those kind of scenes where, like, basically Leo and Woody could have gone in like the same direction. There wasn't really that many Krang that followed in order anyway. So it's just, I don't know, I think it's just like a frustrating scene from point A to point B. But it's one of those kind of scenes. And then for the next one with the Donnie stuff, I thought it's the last one for it, is the apartment scenes, with Donnie trying to reveal how he feels about April, and Mikey showing Kirby the world of the Krang. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, again, with Donnie and April, I was thinking to myself, like, Donnie, we all know that you like April O'Neil. Like, there's no shadow of a doubt that you like her. But is this the right time to be talking about it? Like, one, there's an invasion outside, and two, you're in the same room as her father. I don't know how he would react to that, but okay. But yeah, literally, it's the worst possible time you could actually talk about a situation. You need to start planning on how you're getting out of there. Once you're out of the city, once you're safe, then maybe come out and talk about your feelings to April, but not at this time.
Yeah, but what do you think about the Mikey scene?
The Mikey scene of him opening up the blinds and revealing to the world was just like, I'm not gonna lie, it was quite funny. He's like, oh, it's alright, it's all chill, and then he opens up, New York's on fire, there's walkers and Krang all over the place, people are screaming, and it's just utter bedlam. Like, I don't know how he could be so happy when the world is literally burning around him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, with the Donnie and April stuff, it's annoying because, like, it's happening here and now. But also at the same time, I just don't like how April reacts to all of it. She just tries to stop the conversation, but it's so annoying because she knows how he feels and she just keeps leading them on. It's just really annoying, and at this point it's a little bit boring at this point, but yeah. But the Mikey scene, I mean, I don't know, I've always liked it. I've always found it funny, but like looking at this, like the scene here in this episode compared to how it was in the trailer, because for some reason they gave the final two episodes a trailer, and pretty much every other episode in the show had no trailer. So there's that. But with the animation in the trailer, it seemed a lot more smoother, a lot more cleaner, and something about this seemed better. But in the actual episode itself, this seemed like a normal animation. So yeah, that seemed, I don't know, something about it seems a little bit weird. I only picked up on that today. But then for the final few scenes, which are some pretty interesting ones, we do get to see Leonardo fight the Foot Clan in a abandoned construction site. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, I thought that was pretty cool. Seeing a new part of the city in a construction site and Shredder just looking ominously down into this construction site like a trap waiting to be set off. Like, it was so cool. And of course you had Tiger Claw, Fish Face, and Baxter. Baxter Stockman wasn't there, was he?
No, it was Tiger Claw, Raz on Shredder. Oh, and Fish Face.
Raza, there we go. And Fish Face. Where is Baxter Stockman?
He's in Shredder's lab? I don't know, he's not seen this 2-part finale, so don't really care about him.
Oh, okay. Alright then, but no, I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, when Leo comes to the conclusion that he's in a trap set out by Shredder, like, he knows it for sure. And from there, I'm not too sure what's going to happen from there, to be honest. But I know it's going to be good.
Ooh, oh god, that's really annoying, because I really want to talk about what happens next to really explain my points. But, I'll hold off for a minute then. I'll talk about it next week. Just to, keep your hype levels to the max. So with this bit here, I've always liked to, it's always great to see Leo fighting footbots and stuff like that, but with what they are doing, with how they are portraying a storyline, it is, I like it because they are adapting a certain part of the story which hasn't got adapted into other versions of the story that other versions have adapted before of the story. So I do like that, and I think that is pretty cool and interesting to see Leo be like this and taking them on. And again, it's amazing, but oh god, it's really annoying and frustrating that you don't know where this is heading. So yeah, oh god, why haven't you watched the show before?
I'm sorry, okay, I guess I was busy.
But yeah, so what do you think about this episode overall?
Well, I can't say overall yet because I've only seen part 1 of this episode, so I can't really give you a full overview of it, but for the first part I can. To be honest, I thought, wow, was not expecting that. What's gonna happen next? Like, I don't know if I can get any more crazier than the fact that Krang Prime is strolling about New York City, spraying everyone down with mutagen and turning them into Krang, like zombified Krang human beings. That is just messed up. And I don't know if I can get over the fact that I saw Irma's head fly around the layer as if it was like some sort of football or something. Like, that was just weird in itself. But overall, a good start to this episode.
Yeah, I'd just say that this is definitely one of the best episodes, or no, I'd just say best season finales they've ever created for Turtles in the show, and it's just amazing. And I think that compared to last season with the invasion, this one is just a big setup, big step up from the last one. And I think it goes to show just how big of a threat they can make characters, and just how amazing they can do things. And yeah, I just love it for so many different reasons. And oh god, I can't wait to talk about next week's episode. And if you think that this episode was crazy, just wait until next week. And oh god, I really want to talk about it, but I can't. So yeah, there wasn't really many comments. In fact, there was only about 2 comments, and they weren't really that interesting to really talk about. So yeah, do you want to hear some trivia for this episode?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so for the trivia, this episode released early on nick.com in 2014 on September 20th. In the trailer for this episode and the invasion part 2, Spinner says, "No, you're making a mistake," as he struggles while fighting Krang's Primal. However, in the final episode, he says nothing alike. The antique store April's living in is called the Second Time Round store, which we'll see in 2003 show. The last anime thing that I watched was in the last episode, which was foreshadowing some stuff for this episode. The episode mimics the events, and I won't say that because that's a spoiler. When we find out the police saw the Krang in disguise, Casey says, Casey says, they've already infiltrated, they're here, in reference to 1956 sci-fi thriller Invasion of Body Snatchers, which I feel like with that they're just pulling out strings there. Casey implies the events of the showdown occurred a year ago, as he mentioned that a second Krang invasion was bigger than Technodrome last year, and yeah. Okay, so for the cast, we'll hold for a Krang Subprime, because I feel like you already know who the person is. So April was voiced by Mae Whitman, Casey voiced by Josh Peck, Donatello voiced by Will Paulson, Irma voiced by Kate McCukuli, so wrong, sorry. Krang Prime voiced by Rosine Barr, Nino voiced by Dominic Contrabone, Michelangelo voiced by Greg Sykes, Raphael voiced by Sean Asantine, Shredder voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, Splinter voiced by Hoon Lee, Cop 1 voiced by Eric Bowser, Cop 2 voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, Kirby voiced by Keith Silverstein, Raza voiced by Clancy Brown. They have Super Robot Megaforce, but I don't remember in an episode, but yeah. Tiger Claw voiced by Eric Bowser. Okay, who do you think voiced Krang Subprime?
Ooh. I know. Damn it. I had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh God, what's the name?
Do we tell you who it is?
Yeah, put me out of my misery.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Godfrey. Oh!
Yeah, him.
Yes!
Yeah, he's, did it.
Really?
Yeah!
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's him.
There must be like a voice changer or something, because it can't be like his voice doing that. Otherwise, he's got some really good voice acting.
No, it definitely was his voice. I think he changed it a little bit for Krang, but I think that's only for like certain parts. But like, it was definitely his voice. So yeah, but so either way, that's just amazing that they've been able to do some of that. And he's just such an amazing actor, and oh god, he really fits the character so well. But yeah, like looking at
honestly, it is. Damn. To be honest, I thought it was someone else for some reason, but I wasn't. I was completely in the wrong direction to who I thought it was. But damn.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in so much stuff, so many great things. It's gonna be hard to read this now down just a few to read to be like, oh my god, he's been in that, because he's been in so many stuff. Justice League Action, Missile Picks, also in like Superman, he was in Aladdin, I believe he was also in The Lion King as well. But yeah, he's been in so many stuff. Family Guy. What else? There's just so much to look at. Look, he's been in. Samurai Jack was another thing. What else? Wow, he's been so much. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through. Still in the 90s. Damn. But yeah. Okay, so for next week's episode is called Invasion Part 2. What do you think is going to happen in that episode?
To be honest, if it's going to be like the first part of this episode, it's going to be absolutely crazy. I think we get to see. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I forgot about this. I think we're going to see the turtle mech, or what the turtle mech. or what I like to call it, the Turtle Jaeger, as in like one of the Jaegers from Pacific Rim, like those giant robots that fight the kaiju and the monsters and all of that. That's what I think is going to happen, and I really like to see what Donnie's cooked up for this battle, because knowing Donnie is going to be over the top, over complicated, but it's going to look hella cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Okay.
But no, I think it's going to be like a massive throwdown with Krang Prime and the Turtle Jaeger, and of course I think we're going to finally determine, hopefully get rid of the Krang for good, potentially, and put him back into Dimension X, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see Karai, and maybe Karai will help out in the battle too. That's my hunch, but it's a big hunch, so I could be completely wrong.
Oh god. You're gonna regret saying a lot of stuff which you just said right now, and you're gonna seem like a fool looking back on this.
Oh god.
Yeah, next week's episode is gonna be even crazier than what we saw today. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. We're gonna be seeing in the next episode with what they're gonna be doing. Oh god. It's so annoying that you've not seen the show. I just want to talk about it, but I can't. Damn you. But yeah, definitely I'll say about this episode, or we're sort of done with this one.
To be honest, I'm done. I'm going to save myself for the next part of it, because I know I'm going to have a lot to say for that one.
Just a little. Okay, so yeah, if you don't come to the podcast, you can leave a comment either on YouTube, Reddit, Anchor, either through text message or voice message. But yeah, I've been your host Teddy,
and I've been Hayden,
and we'll see you all soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.